Hey everyone, it's Jeannie from A1 Vacuum and Sewing, and I am in the mood. In the mood. Whoa! Sorry, I know. Every once in a while you have to listen to some you have to put up with some horrible singing. But we just finished our sew along, and we are working on section 2 of Quilting Through the Seasons. This gorgeous quilt right here. We're doing section 2, which I think goes from like right here to right here. This is it, section 2. And I am going to just keep stitching. So next one on the agenda is going to be Wall Gallery 2. That is in a 5x7. Here's my 5x7. I'm just going to pop this up. And this is probably going to be the easiest block ever because there is going to be some background quilting. And then other than that, we are just putting on the Velcro. So let's do this one. And I've been using my magnetic 5x7 hoop. I'm completely obsessed with it. So I'm just going to pop this up. And I'm using muslin here again. And people always go, why do you use muslin? And I use muslin because I like the way it feels and it's more pliable. And at this point, I would say this too. I think it's probably cheaper than the stabilizer. I don't know for sure, but I think it is. So let me just go ahead and smooth this down. Put your magnets on. Smooth this back. Smooth this back. There we go. And that looks good. And we're ready to pop it underneath the arm. Let's grab our, oh, you know what? It shows me to change to a larger frame. I'm going to slide that back off again. And we're just going to use linen. I already have that in here. And let's go ahead and stitch out Wall Gallery 2. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and just slide this off because I'm getting the message that we need a bigger hoop. So let's just slide that off. Clear the screen. You could avoid that just by clearing the screen every time once you're done with your embroidery. I'm going to go to my pocket, USB, Quilting Through the Seasons, background quilting. Let me look at my spreadsheet and see which design we're doing. Oh, I just kicked this dog out. Here we go. Stars 6 4x6. Okay. Stars 6 4x6. Embroidery files. And here's 4x6. There's only one, so I know that's going to be the right one. We're going to go here. This is why I can get nothing done. Oh, my goodness. Okay, we're going to say embroidery. Let's choose our hoop size too, because I like to do that. 5x7, okay. And it's nice to have like a little somebody sitting with me and embroidering, right, Poppy? Hey? Yes, right. And, oh, the last thing I'm going to do, sorry, little distracted here. Layout, move, I'm going to scoot it up. And that'll save us a little bit of muslin. And we'll say okay. And I'm going to go right here where you go forward and backward stitches. We're going to start off with the placement stitch for the placement stitch. Oh, you have this ball here too. Oh, yeah. I'm going to change to a color we can see. So I'm going to put in my Sunkissed Peach. It just happens to be sitting here and it's so beautiful. So let me go ahead and put this in. I'll start the quilting on this. And you are going to spray, if you're spraying like I like to spray, the back of your batting and the back of your background fabric. Here we go. Let me grab this. Here's my batting and my background fabric. Okay, I'm going to lay this down first. Just right inside that placement stitch. And then I'm going to lay down my background fabric. Make sure there's nothing, like I have a green thread here and that can shadow through because this is just coconut cream. And it's light. So let me go ahead and put this down. I'm going to skip the next couple of stitches. This is tack down for the batting. We don't need that because we cut it to size. Placement stitch for the background. We already laid her down. That's tack down for the background. You want to do that. How many hundreds of times have you heard me say that? And then I'm going to change it to my linen thread and we'll do the quilting stitch. Tickle your fabric, make sure everything is laying flat and nothing is going to get puckered. And now let's put in our linen. This is 3 minutes of stitching. And then guess what? We're almost done with this block. If only they were that fast. Can you imagine how productive we'd be if all our blocks were 5 minutes? You're like, done. Done and done. Yes, I am that awesome and I am that fast. All right, here's our quilting. And then you're going to need those 2 pieces of loop. I can only find one of mine. Okay, I lost my other one. So I'm going to have to cut more. It does want you to use white to stitch down the loop, but I'm just going to leave my coconut or my linen in because that's close enough, right? All right, next thing it's going to do, oh wait, finish embroidery. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I forgot to combine my design. Okay, that's okay. We're going to go back. and we're going to combine it, and then we're going to skip the quilting. Otherwise, I'll get so confused. So we're going to go back to the original screen. Okay. I'm going to hit return because I forgot to add the other design. And this is our main edit page. I'm going to go edit, move, and I'm going to center it because it should be centered. I'm going to say okay, and now I'm going to add. Sorry about that. Totally forgot that there was another design. I was so confused. Let's go to PES Designs, Base Quilt, and we are looking for just this one. Let's make sure that is the right one. 4x4 wall gallery. That's the only one, so it has to be it. And yeah, it's called 4x4 wall gallery. So we're going to put that in, set it, and it says that it should be centered. So just like that. So now I'm going to go embroidery. It's going to go to the next screen, and I snugged it all the way up to the top. So I'm just going to go layout, move it all the way to the top. And then we're going to skip all of this stuff. So we're going to go down here to the bottom where you go forward and backward stitches. And I'm going to skip everything until we get to the turquoise at the very end. So I'm still in the green for the quilting. Now I'm on the turquoise, and now we're ready to go. So I confused myself, and I may have confused you as well, but that's how we can just add it back. Okay, so there's my placement stitch. I'm going to have another placement stitch, and then we're going to lay these two down. I'm going to use my stiletto to hold it down, and I'm not going to use the glue that they're calling for. And then was that just the best? Okay, I'm going to take this and just cover this. I'm just going to hold it down. Let it do its stitching. It stitches like a little starburst. Once it starts stitching it down, I can just go ahead and move that stiletto. I'm going to hit the start stop button because it's just going to want to keep stitching. Let me put the foot up so I can place this. There we go. And I'm going to hit start. Just hold this down, let it stitch it. So much easier than using fabric glue, right? And we are done with Wall Gallery 2. Let's go on to Wall Gallery 3. Let's go ahead and take this out, and we are going to go ahead and load in Wall Gallery 3. Here we go. I pulled the fabric aside. I am going to go ahead, and this one I think also fits in the 5x7. What I don't want to have happen that I have had happen is this one underneath, and I stitched it down. So I'm going to go ahead, and you're going to leave one on, or actually this is going to be the one we're leaving on. I'm going to cut off the top upper two. I just feel like I need to strike while the iron's hot and get all this stitching done because our week is getting started. And who knows how crazy it's going to be. So I'm going to go ahead, cut this. I like to cut it from the back side because I can see where the middle is in between these two blocks. And these can be pressed and trimmed. I'll do that all at once. And now let's go ahead and hoop. Here, this is my fabric for Wall Gallery 3. I'm going to put it where I sit. I'm going to undo this a little bit. My Jumbo Wonder Clips. If you need Jumbo Wonder Clips, we sell them at the store. That should be enough, and I can re-clip it. Okay, I'm going to put a clip at the top. Put one here, one here. Stretch it down. Maybe we'll stretch it over here. Ooh, you can get yourself, so be careful. And then pull this down here. Just put my fingers here. And we are good and hooped. I'm going to put this on the machine. worry about clearing my screen because it's the same size. And I think we're ready. Let's come on over here. Let's load our design. Okay. Here's the spreadsheet. If you want the spreadsheet and you don't have it, you can find it on our A1 sew along page. All the sheets are there under files. Or else you can always email me and I'll send it to you. And the last thing you can do is request to be part of the Quilting Through the Seasons group. And as I update the sheets, I'm sending it out. So lots of different options for you. So I'm going to go home to clear my screen. This is Wall Gallery 3. We are going to do stars. It looks like they're all stars 6, except these are 4x6. So we're going to go embroidery. I put it in my upper USB. Quilting Through the Seasons, background quilting, and stars 6. And I'm using 4x6 for all of these. So here's 4x6. I'm going to set it. And then we are going to add Wall Gallery 3, and it's centered. So let's take a look at Wall Gallery 3. It looks like this. So this is the design we're looking for. So I'm going to go add. I'm going to go to my Quilting Through the Seasons folder. I named it PES for my designs, and it's the base quilt. The rest of these are all the embellishments. And we are looking for, I think we're looking for this one right here. Is that it? Yep, that's it. And when you take it and tilt it over, then it'll be in the right direction. We're all set. We're going to say embroidery. That's going to combine the designs. We're going to go to layout, move, and let's scoot it up to the top. My hoop's on so it won't go out of the embroidery field. And I'm going to say okay. And last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. This is where I can go forward and backward stitches, and this brings it up. 17 minutes of stitching. This shouldn't take that long. First thing I'm going to do is I want a color that I can see, so I'm going to put in my Sun-Kissed Peach again. Don't let him in. Momo was at the door. I hate saying no to my babies, but they create a lot of havoc in here. All right, here's my, this is my placement stitch for my batting. So here's my batting and my background fabric. I'm going to go ahead and give this a little shot of spray, and this as well on the Shapeflex side. Okay, so I'm going to lay it right inside of that placement stitch. Make sure you look carefully at your fabric because you don't want to accidentally spray it on the wrong side and lay it down on the wrong side. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down too. Okay. We're going to skip a couple stitches. This is tack down for the batting and trim. Don't need that. Placement for the background. Tack down for the background. We need that one. So if you've combined like I have, we're doing steps 1 and 4. And then you're doing the quilting. That's so strange that I had so many issues with my thread bedding down for the... that very first block that we did, and then it's been completely fine. So maybe it just didn't like that black thread, the white thread, which is weird. All right, let's not think about it. We're just moving on. Okay, you need to do the quilting stitch, and it's recommending linen. Let me go ahead and put linen in, and it should be 3 minutes for the quilting. and just let this stitch out. I was just daydreaming here and thinking about what should we stitch next. And I mean just project-wise, because I'm going to be doing Hello Sunshine, which I'm so excited about. I've always wanted to do it. We put kits together and everything. So there's Hello Sunshine, and there's also mini quilts. So mini quilts is going to be coming out, and I'd like to start that maybe at the end of May. Because I just love the mini quilts. If you're new to Kimberbell, mini quilts is it's a great project because they're little bites. This is a big quilt with lots of embellishments. It's going to take us a while. But when you do something like mini quilts, that's like you could get one of those done in a day. And there is a feeling of accomplishment when you actually get something done. I struggle with that part. Okay, there's going to be a whole bunch of placement and tack down and placement and tack down. So the first step, and why don't we go ahead and I'm going to put in a different color so you can see. But color's not going to make a difference for some of this. Actually, you know what? The first color that is going to make a difference is celery. And that's a lighter color, so why don't we go ahead and put that in. Celery. For the sky, it doesn't make a difference. But so I'm going to put celery in. And how I decide what I'm going to put in, because, you know, we want to be efficient, is sometimes I will look at the squares with the lines in it means color doesn't make a difference. So I'll go down until a color does make a difference, and there's celery. So go ahead and do your placement stitch, and we're going to be putting down the sky first. And if you look at our fabrics here, I have them all laid out. That's going to be this one. This is going to be our sky. So I'm going to give that a little shot of spray. Just lay it down over your placement stitch and tack it down. Then we're going to go ahead and trim. Use whichever scissors or snips you want. Okay, and we are going to go ahead and trim that. Whoops. Got to slide that on. Okay, next step is going to be landscape 1 placement line, and it is the fabric with the flowers. So it's your pretty petals, green pretty petals, this one right here. A little shot of spray, and we could spray all of them right now too. And color makes a difference. Now we're going to go ahead and put this down over it. Do the tack down. This is step, we just did step number 3, which was placement line, place the landscape 1 fabric right side up, stitch the landscape 1 tack down line. If desired, apply fray preventative product to the fabric just above the top stitch line and allow it to dry. Test the product on a scrap before. I'm not using anything for that. So this is step number 4, which is down here, and we're going to go ahead and trim it. Trim the fabric as desired along the top. Trim the remaining edges close to the line. So the top, it says trim as desired. I'm just going to trim the whole thing close, but if you want, you can leave a little bit of the edge on the top, I think is what they're saying. The rest of it, you want to trim close. Maybe we should just leave a little bit, because I guess maybe because it's grass. Is that why they want it to be, you could have it frayed? Not sure. This part, they want you to trim close, right? So we're going to go ahead and trim this close. This, trim as desired. Okay, we can always go back, so maybe I'll just trim it a little bit of an edge. We'll just see. I'm not planning on washing this anyway, so there. I didn't trim it. This looks like an Easter egg, doesn't it? Okay, this is raw edge applique, and it's not going to finish up that top part. Let's turn the page. Now, we still want to leave celery in, and it wants you to stitch landscape 2 fabric. That is going to be this doodly one right here. Oh my God, it needs like the tiniest little piece ever. I'm going to take all of my applique pieces and put them in here and give them all a little shot of spray, and then we're done, and I don't have to think about it. I also have this big piece that's going to be for the frame. Let's give them all a little shot of spray, and we don't go crazy. There we go. Let's put that doodly piece down. I mean, it's so tiny, but whatever. Okay, again, the top part, they're saying trim as desired and then close to the stitch. So I think it wants it to be like a little bit raw edgy. So the bottom part close to the stitch, the top part as desired, which to me usually means leave a little bit of an edge. So, and this as, now we'll go ahead and trim that top part as desired, which means I'll leave a little bit of an edge. That's kind of fun, right? Okay, next one. Placement stitch. We're going to lay down the fabric with the polka dots. And I have a feeling we're going to do the same thing with this. Yep. Uh-oh. What color was that? That was 6. This is 7 and 8. Okay, because we are going to switch after this. We're going to switch thread. We're going to go to mossy because we want it to be a little bit darker. So this is step number 8. You're still using celery. Oh, this one's so fast. I was thinking this one was going to take a long time. But this one's fast too. Okay, top, you're going to trim as desired, so maybe leave a little bit of fabric there. And then, you know, again, it says if you want, you could use some kind of fray check, but I like the idea that maybe it might fray a little bit. Plus, that fits in with my master plan of not having to use a preventative fraying product. And just let it fray. Okay, there we go. Slide it back on. We're going to change out our thread. Now we're going to switch to mossy for the darker colors. Mossy, where are you? Here you are. Okay, let's put in our mossy, which is this kind of like earthy, darker green. Placement stitch. And then you're going to lay down that like kind of green linen-y fabric. We're going to be putting this down right here. Lay it down, trim it to the stitch on the sides and the bottom, and then trim as desired on the top. Okay, that is trim as desired. This is trim to the stitch. Ooh, I'm getting like bigger with my trim as desired. I love it. Okay, last one, and we're going to lay down your solid green. And then we're going to change our fabric out to coin. We're laying that fabric down, and now we're going to stitch it down. Again, top, trim as desired, which means it doesn't have to be right to the edge. And then the bottom part, you're going to trim it to the stitch. I'll be right in.
Your food's hot, though.
Okay, I'm coming. There we go. And now let's go ahead and we're going to put a coin in. And coin is going to be the placement stitch for the frame. But quite honestly, do we need to do that? Because we know it's just going to go right over here. So let's skip that. That's step number 13. I do want to put in the right color. I'm skipping, or it's 18 on your screen. Okay, this is placement stitch right here. I'm going to go to the next one. You know placement stitch because it's turquoise. Tack downs are orange. And I'm just going to grab my fabric. And I'm going to lay it down centered over this. Oh, wait a minute. It says stitch the landscape placement line, place the wash away topping, and then place the landscape frame right side up. So it wants you to put wash away topping, and I keep a little piece here that I just kind of use a little bit at a time. Where are you? Here we go. I'll put this down. Should I tape that? Probably. I'm going to have to... Do I even want it to be that big? It just has to cover this frame part. So let's cut it. It just needs to cover my Easter egg. Isn't that little egg is so cute? Where's my tape? I don't even know where my tape is. Okay, well, because this is sitting here and because I'll use whatever's near me. I mean, but look, that's how it rips. That's why we use our transport. I'm going to tape it here in the corners. In the corner. Corner tape. I have to find my tape. And then it wants you to put this down. I'm going to center it. Center. There's the center. Unfold. Alrighty. Go ahead and stitch this down. This is the, yeah, as long as it's orange on your screen, this is the tack down. And skip that placement stitch. You don't need it. Just center it to your, to the inside embroidery. Trim the fabric close to the stitch line. Trim inside of the frame. Be careful to only cut the frame fabric. So there's the outside. Let's do the inside. And this is going to be the majority of our stitching is the frame. We're about halfway through. So, and you're going to be using both your coin and lead gray. Don't these colors look so pretty together? Like gorgeous? Yes, they do. Okay, Kimberbell, you have some amazing embroidery designers. Does it say to trim the fabric close? Can you even see? All you see is my hand in the way. Sorry. Okay, that's done. Let's do the inside now, and be careful because you don't want to snip any of the fabric. There, I think I'm through both layers now. Yes. And I think they have you put the topping there because they don't want you to cut into the fabric, I think, right? That must be it. I think I could have done it without cutting into the fabric. Oh, it looks adorable. All right. That was step number 14. 15, do the satin frame satin outline. Or the frame outline. I don't know if I just made up all those words that I just spit out. This is 6 minutes of stitching. I'm going to let it go and grab a bite to eat because my manservant told me my food is ready. I'll be right back. ran upstairs, wolfed down a couple bites of food, and then I kept thinking, oh no, what if my bobbin runs out? I gotta be here for that. I'm gonna get a new bobbin. It was getting low. Let me get some transport tape. Found my hoop screwdriver that I misplaced. And I'm going to get my lead gray ready, because that's going to be our next color. And then on to wall gallery number 4. Moving right along. I just don't want to fall behind, you know, so I just want to keep on keeping on so we can get this project done and I don't have a UFO. This is the year of no more UFOs. This is the year I get everything done. Am I lying to myself? Last year was a challenging year. Okay, this is the other gray we're going to be using, lead gray. I don't even know what it's for. Let me look at the instructions. So, lead gray is going to be for... Oh, there's some detail on the frame. Landscape frame detail is what it's called. And that looks like probably about 4 minutes of stitching. I think what I'll do is I'll do a bobbin change. Let's see how close we were to our bobbin being done. Pretty close. I mean, I still have a little life in that one, but... because I'm trying to have lunch with my beloved upstairs. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, let it stitch away. You've got 4 minutes of stitching with this. I will be right back. It's almost done. Oh my goodness, did it end and I wasn't here? And then there's dead air. There it is. So we are done with this one. I think you're just going to remove. You're going to remove this. Be careful. Don't rip or don't cut into your other stuff. Oh my goodness, is that just so adorable? And I love it. And I would be fine if this had like some frayed edges. And we are done with, this one is what, gallery 3, I think. Let's get ready to do wall gallery 4. All right, let's hoop up for wall gallery 4. Dun, 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 we're doing it. I just love feeling like I'm getting something done. Okay, wall gallery 4. That is going to be in the 5x7. So I have the 5x7. Let's go ahead and take off our magnets. Oh my goodness, look at this mess. Who did this? I'm going to yell at them. It was me. Okay, let's scoot it up. Let's open this up, fold it down a little bit. Put this top one on. Alrighty. Put the side one. I'll do this side. And the bottom. And just so this one doesn't accidentally get stitched down, I'm going to cut this off. So if something does get stitched down, it's just one and not more than one. Let's be realistic. Sometimes I don't check. Okay, I'm going to slide this on the machine. And let's go ahead and load the design. Oh, let me grab my blocky blocks. Here is wall gallery 4. Here's all the goodies we need for this. I'm going to put it right here. And let's go to the machine and load everything. Maybe someday I'll be super pro and I'll have like a studio and I'll film from the front and the side and the back. Okay, I'm going to go home. We are loading in star 6 4x6. Same design. You know what I could have done is I could have just backed out and then thrown away the top part and had the design already loaded. But that would have required me thinking beforehand. And I didn't think, I just went into autopilot, must load design. So here we go. Here's our 4x6. We're going to add to that. And what we are adding is this one right here. Pretty. So let's find that. Let me go to the right folder. PES. I already put in my background quilting. I'm working on the base quilt. And we are doing this pretty design right here. Go ahead and set that. It is centered, so we're good. We're just going to touch embroidery to combine, layout to get to your move keys, scoot it up. I already slid my hoop on, and we're going to say okay. Then we're going to choose this where we can go forward and backwards stitches. There is our placement stitch. I'll just go ahead and leave the lead gray in there. And let me grab my fabric. You're going to go ahead and spray the back of your batting and the back of your background fabric. So go ahead and do that. Here is our batting. And here is my background fabric. Make sure you're spraying the right side. Okay. And make sure there's no ickies on it, like dark threads or anything like that. Center it the best you can. Feel. Make sure you have a nice edge around the whole thing. And we're going to skip some steps. That's tack down for your batting, placement for your background, tack down for your background. We want to do that. So it's really like we're doing steps 1 and 4. Tickle it. And now we're going to do the quilting stitch. Okay, and it is saying linen, which I think is appropriate for this, and it's the same one we've done in all of them. So let's get your linen thread, thread her up, and stitch it out. Oh, this is going to be a long stitch out. We've got 36 minutes here of stitching time. And here we go. So these are the next 2 pieces that are going to get laid down. This is the background, and then this is the frame. So I'm going to give both of those a little shot of spray so they're ready to go. All right, go ahead and just hit start. I'm just leaving the linen in there. Color does not make a difference. This is going to be the placement stitch for your background fabric, which is this fabric right here. you're just going to place this. I mean, you can pretty much center it to the fabric that's down there already. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down, and then go ahead and do your tack down, and then we're going to trim. Trim the fabric close to the stitch line. I already sprayed it, so I just stuck it down, but you can go ahead and tape as well. What are these? These are just sitting here, so I'm just going to use these. All right, and from this last piece right down here. Okay, next step. Now it wants you to place the frame placement line, or stitch the frame placement line. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to skip because it's just going right around where we just stitched. So I'm going to do the tack down. I'm going to grab my yellow piece, and I'm just going to center it to this piece. And if you really want to find the center, what I do is I fold it in half, and I fold it in half again, and I put my finger on what looks like the center, and then I just let it open up. And that should be placed. Oh, look at that. You can just place it right to the outline of this fabric or our tack down, and that should be perfect too. And thread does not make a difference, so I'm just leaving in my linen. So this is the inside of the frame. We're going to cut that, and then it's going to do the outside. So we're going to cut through that, being careful not to cut through the fabric underneath. And this is step number 4. Sorry about that. Step number 4 says, stitch the frame tack down line. Trim the fabric close to the stitch line. Trim inside of the frame. Be careful to only cut the frame fabric. All right, here we go. I'm going to trim around the outside first. And then I'll trim around the inside. I'm sorry, are my hands in the way? Sorry, I'm just cutting whichever way is easiest for me. I think you get the picture, right? And a lot of times I'll hold the fabric up at an angle and it makes it easier to cut, and it allows you to get closer to your stitches as well. Oh my goodness. This reminds me of, I don't know why, I think it's just the color, but when I was probably in middle school, I used to collect these, they were like little quilted balloons, I think. And, you know, I would go down and like buy like the newest color or something. I had that along with, these like Harlequin, clown posters. I don't know. Is that creepy? I don't think it was creepy. And I would collect those too. And that's how I decorated my room. Gorgeous. Is that beautiful? I think so. Okay, next step is step number 5, stitch the applique flower placement line. Well, guess what? That applique flower covers this whole area. I'm going to just spray it, and I'm going to skip that step. Because why do that step? I mean, it's going to stitch out all of those little flowers. It's going to take forever. We don't need it. We know where it's going to go. So I'm going to skip that step. I'm going to lay down my fabric. I think this is royal icing. So I'm just going to lay it down and cover that whole thing. And let's skip that step. So turquoise tells you it's a placement line. Go to the next step. That's going to be your tack down. And let's do that one. And it says for color, color does make a difference. I have linen in and it wants white. So I'm going to go ahead and take out my linen. I'm going to put in my white. Oh my goodness, how much time do you think we've saved? We've saved so much time by not having to do our placement stitches, right? We probably saved at least 2 minutes. 2 minutes is better than no minutes. Oops. Oopsie. Okay, so we're going to stitch down all the flowers, and then we're going to trim them close to the stitch line. So what we're doing right now is we skipped that. We just laid our fabric down. Now it's doing the tack down, and then we're going to trim. We're 8 minutes into 36 minutes. And get your Vegas gold. That's going to be coming up. Vegas gold, celery, graphite. Is this graphite? Vegas gold, celery, and graphite. And mossy and coffee. And I kind of added all the colors. So if you want to see what's coming up and add it in. So this is page 44. This is Vegas gold, celery, graphite, mossy, and coffee. And that's going to be it. So we're going to, after this, we're going to trim, and then we're going to do the decorative outline. That's all going to be in white. grab your snips. Pull this back, and I'm going to go ahead and trim these up. And you want to get these nice and close because this is going to do a decorative stitch, which is not a satin stitch. And so if you're not nice and close, then sometimes threads can stick out and make it look like messy. And we don't want it to look messy. Oh no, did you? I know you can't hear that. That was Momo crying outside the door. And that's like, it's like hearing my baby. He is my baby. It's like hearing a baby cry. And then he just yipped. They've been so naughty though. So naughty. They just love being with their mommy. Wouldn't it be nice if these were already cut out on my scan and cut? How nice would that be? But no, somebody can't get it together. Figure it out. Okay, I'm telling you, section 3 is the section. I'm going to practice. Momo, no, not right now. I would let Momo in, but it's Poppy. And I can't let Momo in and not Poppy because I try to treat them like fairly. Although she shouldn't have the privilege, right? After what she did to my batting. We have a friend over right now, and he was telling me about his brother-in-law and his sister, how they have an Aussie, and their Aussie is super mellow and likes to lay around and is like can go for a walk or not go for a walk and is fine. And then you have ours where we have to walk them 20 miles over the weekend. And we've tried to make them lazier dogs, but it hasn't worked. Okay, last one. Patrick, they're not allowed in here. Okay. Next, go ahead and just hit start. Slide your hoop on. Hit start, and now it's going to do the decorative stitch. When are we going to the store? I'm going to go with you because I need a couple of it. Gorgeous! You're so gorgeous! Okay, Vegas Gold next. With our Vegas Gold, we are going to stitch the frame satin outline right here. And then the frame detail right here. And then the flower center fills right here, here, and here. going to get ready to stitch out stripes and square one. That's going to go into my 7x12. So since this is going to take a while, why don't we go ahead and hoop up in our 7x12. All right. We can also do things like clip jump threads. We could make ourselves useful instead of just staring at your embroidery, which is what I was doing. But when it's so beautiful, how can you not stare at it? I hope if you didn't get this that you'll consider getting it because it is so pretty. Okay, here we go. And these, remember, I have a couple different tools for trimming our jump threads. Number one, you need a pair of precision tip tweezers. Or, you know, any tweezers like these. I love these. And then you need a pair of snips that either have the little hook. And I have two of those because Tula Pink came out with a pair and it was so beautiful. I had to get it. I was forced by my brain. Or you can use a pair of side hoppers. Here are my side hoppers and here are my Tula Pinks. Either of any one of these in combination with a pair of tweezers, preferably my precision tips. Although I love those other tweezers, I just I love them when because you need this to hold it up so it can be nice and taut, and then you can just cut, and then it looks gorgeous. These are my OESD ones. And then the other thing you can use, if you want to feel gorgeous while you're clipping, you can use your Tula Pinks. Oh my goodness, I felt so gorgeous just then because I was using Tula Pink. And then if you feel like being super sassy, then you can go ahead and you can use your little side hoppers, which have little feet, and whoops, you just hold this up and then put your little feet under and cut. Okay, these are your tools for trimming. All right, I'll come back over here. We need to give some attention over here, and I think all that we're doing is we're putting in our Vegas Gold, and guess what? It is 11 minutes of stitching. Just don't go anywhere. Stay close by and stitch away. It's going to do this gorgeous ornate frame. Here we go. And then while it's doing that, we're going to come back over here and let's hoop up in our 7x12 and get ready. I'm going to take these and put these out of the way. And we should put all of this stuff out of the way. Okay. Let's move this up. That is not even. Oh, you know what? Two smalls. Two smalls, two bigs. And then two more smalls. Okay, I'm going to go slide this. Oh, wait. I I was gonna say I was gonna go slide it on the machine, but the machine's embroidering something else right now. Here, this is stripes section 2. So that's what you're gonna need for the stripes. And then we have the squares. Let me go grab that. Hang on a second. Where are my squares? Squares section 2. Here are squares section 2. So you're going to need all of these pieces in addition to the base, which is going to be your batting. And your batting should be, I think, 6 by 6. And it looks like I need one more. So let me get another piece of batting. But we will be ready to go for the squares and the stripes. That's going to be next. I'm just powering through it. We're getting this done. And while we're getting it done, let's go ahead and check on this frame. And it is looking gorgeous. So let's just keep stitching. I'm going to get another 6 by 6. Oh, they're right here. I got it. Oh, no, I don't have it. I found one. And I really think I want to do 2 sections of stripes. I just want to do it now. So I know one of them is going to be in section 3, but let's just get them both done with. Then it'll be that much less to do. I might have to work on this spreadsheet, huh? For section 3. Let's look at it. halfway through with this, so just keep stitching. All right, next step is still going to be Vegas Gold, so just hit start. It's 4 more minutes. It's going to do decorative stitching. so cute. Looks really good. We're gonna leave that in there. Once it's done with that stitching, we're just gonna go ahead and we are going to sew the centers of the flowers with the same Vegas gold. So just keep stitching. Okay, flower centers, just hit start. All right, we have our flower centers. Let's go ahead and put in celery. That's going to be for the leaves. Celery, and that's just a minute of stitching. I'm being so productive right now. I'm answering all my emails, checking on orders, and stitching. And then we're going to put in graphite for the blue flowers. are going to put in graphite. Oh, it's looking so pretty. I love celery. Celery is a great color. My first time using graphite. So this is kind of like that blue gray. Ooh, my spool, my mini cone feels so plump and new. And then we're going to put Mossy in. Mossy's going to do the darker leaves. And then coffee. And then we're done. And this one looks amazing. Okay, let's go ahead and put in mossy green. Awesome. Let's go ahead and we're going to put in coffee and we will be done with this embroidery. Sorry. That arm is always in my way because it's in between me and the machine, so I'm always hitting it, making you seasick. And we are done, and I think that is absolutely gorgeous. I love it so much. I will be right back. We will be doing the stripes and the squares. See you in just a little bit.